The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, or Solas, is a law under the International Maritime Organization and is the most important agreement to protect the safety of merchant ships. The accident that happened on the Titanic caused this agreement to be approved in 1914 as the first version, followed by the second in 1929, the third in 1948, and the fourth in 1960. Based on the information specifying minimum standard for the construction, equipment, and operation of ships compatible with their ship in the main objective that Solar want to achieve in maritime.
Types of cargo. This chapter emphasizes on all sorts of cargoes, except of liquid or gases in bulk, meaning the specification of carriage, referring to the tanker. It conveys the pre-product and post-refinery state of oil, chemicals, and also liquefied petroleum and natural gas. All above are meant to be excluded from this particular chapter. So, this chapter covers various of cargoes in which this part applies. And those are container cargo, reefer cargo, ro-ro, bulk cargo, and general cargo. What is container cargo? Container cargo is a container type of carriage that comprises of different forms of container designed specifically for each own purposes. The container carried many kind of goods like manufactured food product, electronics, clothing, semi-manufactured, and raw materials of technology. Regarding reefer cargo, it is a type of perishable items, products, or packages. For such are frozen meat, fishes, vegetables, and any other good that depend upon cold temperature, should included in this part as well. Particular control of temperature is essential to ensure the goods will be held in a matched condition from transit of origin to the point of destination. So the goods probably cannot be rotted or no longer useful because of its long time of journey to deliver. Meanwhile, ro-ro or row-on-row of type of cargo is a type of cargo that is for typically vehicles, kind of carriage that can be put in and put out of vessel via driven off and on throughput. The function are to give the private owners to just drive their goods into the cargo space, easily require much less time to transport the cargo, making it more time efficient than any other mode of cargo. Through ro-ro, it transports cargo composed of cars, trucks or lorries, and tanks. The next cargo is the breakbulk cargo. It is a cargo that the ship is loading and unloading according to the individual accountability, like drums, pallets, caters, locks, manufacturing, and construction equipments. It is the cheapest for being more cost effective for the transportation of the cargo. Cargo, particularly in this chapter, when talking about bulk cargo, it refers to any dry bulk that can be carried by ships in a large quantities. The example of dry bulk are corn, wheat, coal, grains, salts, and rice. Unlike container, the bulk cargo does not require much process because it loaded directly into the vessel like the container cargo.
The following are related to the regulations. In this chapter have 9 regulation which is related to regulation 1. This regulation 1 related to things that can cause danger to the ship and people on board. This regulation also discuss the security measures involved in Solas by providing special handling, maintenance of machine, equipment, and ship structure. Regulation 2 is about documents that are required before cargo is loaded on board. Ensure that the goods are suitable to be carried using the vessel and not dangerous. This document also important to facilitate the cargo arrangement process. Next, Regulation 3 discuss the equipment to measure the carbon concentrations required in this ship, such as BW click to ensure the carbon content in the ship's table. And then Regulation 4, use of press desert for the fumigation process. This process can only be done by workers who are required by the shipmaster, and this regulation is not allowed to use fresh goods under a stable atmosphere. In Regulation 5 is provide a space of security for cargo to guarantee cargo quality and the steps that need to be taken to ensure that the cargo and the ship and the people on the board are safe in any situation. And then Regulation 6 and Regulation 7. This regulation is tied to solid bulk vessel. These two regulations are each related to accessibility for delivery and loading and stowage of solid bulk cargo. Regulation 6 discusses the document required for safety purpose, while Regulation 7 related to matters provides for safety purposes as the provision of manual for the use of equipment in a sustainable and stable language by the ship crew. Last regulation is Regulation 9. This regulation is tied to the chart that carry the green. Ships carry green must prepare document as stated in the Solas. For ships that do not have document must make an appeal to give confidence that they do not violate the Solas rules.
The study case is about dead cargo lost at sea under a contract of carriage of goods by sea. This incident involved two companies, known as Burn Pike Company Limited as a goods trader and Marine Pacific Limited as a freight carrier in Fiji. The goods were lost at sea while travelling from Suva to Labasa. While in Suva, inside the barge was a tank where some oil was pumped to be pumped out in Labasa, while the rest of the cargo was carried on deck. The barge started its journey at 5 p.m. towed by the ship Moe. At about 5 o'clock in the morning, the accident happened, where it was found that part of the fortification surrounding the deck had broken and some items on the deck were missing. This incident happened because the barge tied and caused the stern to be almost level with the water level. Two holes in the barge were also found open and a lot of water had entered the barge. The pin that holds the cover in the place has also come loose and is hanging near the cover. Water is pumped out of the barge and the remaining deck cargo is properly secured. Moe and the barge were brought to Labasa with the remaining cargo the next day at 7 a.m. from Overlow.
Based on the case of the incident, we can relate this case to regulation in the carriage of cargoes. The regulation involved is Regulation 2, which is related to cargo information. According to Solas 2014, where the shipper needs to supply appropriate cargo or information about the cargo before loading that is sufficient to ensure that the necessary precautions for proper storage and safe transportation of the cargo are implemented. In addition, the information must be confirmed in writing along with the appropriate shipping documents before entering the cargo on board.
In conclusion, the Solas Convention is the most important international agreement related to the safety of merchant vessels. According to the IMF, packed containers cannot be loaded into ships without a confirmed gross mass if shippers do not follow Solas. National law may potentially allow for the enforcement of fines and other penalties. Prior to loading, Solas officials must weigh, confirm and certify the weight of each container. The reason for establishing this requirement is that the weight of the freight was frequently discovered to be far higher than what was indicated in the document during accidents.